So how do we find the derivative of the inverse of a function? So say for example, we have here a function f of x is equal to x cubed plus 6. And then again, we are asked to find the derivative of this one. We can actually approach this one in two ways. The first one is get the inverse of this function and then get the derivative. So let's try to do the first method. So I'll just copy this and then paste it in our paint tool so that it will give us more space. So again, this is the first method. So solve first for the inverse of this. So this will just give us, again, if you don't know how to solve for the inverse of the function, I recommend to watch my previous post on the inverse functions. So again, this will just give us, we know already that f of x is just y, so I will just write y is equal to x cubed plus 6. Then again, if I'm going to find the inverse of y, so y inverse, what I'm going to do is solve this one in terms of x, and then I will switch the variables. So this will give me y minus 6 equals x cubed. Then again, to solve for x, I will extract the cube root of y minus 6 both sides. So I will get the cube root of this and the cube root of this. So I am left with the cube root of y minus 6 equals x. And then I'm going to switch the variables. I will now have the cube root of x minus 6 equals y. So this will be our inverse function. And then, to answer the question, what is the derivative of this inverse function, we're gonna do, I'm just going to rewrite this as y equals the cube root of x minus 6. So I'm going to do chain rule. But before that, let me just rewrite this in terms of exponents. So I will have x minus 6 and then raised to 1/3. And applying chain rule, again applying chain rule, I will now have the derivative of the entire function. That will just give us 1/3 and then x minus 6. What is 1/3 minus 1? That is just a negative 2/3, and then multiply it by the inner function, which is this x minus 6. The derivative of this one is just 1. So I am left with y equals 1/3 and then x minus 6 raised to negative 2 over 3, or simplify, this is 1 3 over 3 times x minus 6 raised to 2 over 3. So this will be my answer. Alright, so this will be my answer. Now, as you can see here, the process is quite lengthy. So is there a way that we can somewhat shorten the process? Now remember that these two are the inverse of one another. So basically, we can actually make use of our knowledge of the inverse of this function and the derivative of the original function to find the derivative of the inverse function. And what we are going to do is just this. So first, let's try to get the derivative of our first function, or f of x. This is just y prime. This is what? 3x squared, right? That's our derivative. Now to find the derivative of this function right here, what we're going to do is get the reciprocal of our y prime. That is just 1 over 3. But instead of writing x, we are going to write our inverse function, which is this one. So we will do that. That is cube root of x minus 6 and then squared. So we will do squared and then we are going to simplify. Now, based on the rule of exponents, so basically, this is just equal to 1 over 3 cube root of x minus 6 squared. So we are going to simplify this one further. This will give us what? This will just give us 1 over 3. And then in terms of exponents, this is x minus 6. And then the index is 3. So we have here 2 over 3. And as you can see, that is actually the same with here, right? The same with that one. So again, we can make use of method 1, the long process, and the short one, which is again using the inverse function and the derivative of the original function. So